Beyond the Red House, where we turn trauma into triumph and pain into purpose. I'm Kayla Valterno, author of I Was Once the Girl in the Red House, and I believe in the power of authentic healing stories. This is a space where your voice matters, your story heals, and your journey inspires others to break their own cycles. Whether you're just beginning your healing or years into building your new life, you belong here. Let's explore what it means to move beyond the red houses that hurt us and build the lives we actually deserve. Welcome back to Beyond the Red House. I'm Kayla, and today I'm sharing the practical roadmap I wish someone had given me when I was standing at the crossroads of one of the most difficult decisions of my life. If you are considering no contact, or you've recently made that choice and you're feeling lost in the aftermath, this episode is your survival guide. So now I'm going to give you the honest, unglamorous truth about what comes after you do make that choice, because, spoiler alert, the decision is just beginning. Let's start with the biggest misconception I had, that going no contact would solve all of my problems. I thought cutting my mother out meant I would wake up the next day feeling different, feeling free, completely healed, and ready to move on to the next chapter of my life. I was very naive. Instead, I woke up feeling terrified, guilty, and absolutely, completely unprepared for what came next. Here's what I wish I had known. No contact is not a magic wand. It's more like an emergency surgery. Yes, you've removed the immediate threat, but now you have to learn how to function without that dysfunctional relationship that, as toxic as it was, had become a familiar part of your life. I want you to prepare yourself for an adjustment period. It's normal to feel disoriented, even lost in those first weeks and months. And now this is advice that I desperately needed, but never got. Before you go no contact, create your emergency support plan. So for me, I didn't think of what came next. I thought of this is what I need to do immediately. So I want you to have 2 to 3 people you can call at 2 a.m. when the guilt is crushing you. Or text, because who calls anymore? Know if you need to have a therapist on standby, make sure you have one to call, and have your coping strategies ready, whether that's journaling, exercise, meditation, reading, doing art, something that grounds you. Because here's what will happen, truthfully. You'll have moments of panic where you think, have I made the most terrible mistake of my life? You'll want to reach out and fix things. And having your support system in place before you need it can be the difference between sticking to your decision and getting pulled back into the cycle. I know for me that having a really good friend was crucial during this time. Having someone that goes, no, do not call her, do not text her. And that was my lifeline, truly. Now, I want you to expect the extinction burst. This is a term from psychology that I wish I knew about beforehand. And what it truly is when you cut someone off who's used to getting those reactions from you, they often escalate their behavior dramatically before they just end up giving up. And that is called an extinction burst. In my case, after I went no contact, the attempts to reach me intensified. My mother would send me constant emails telling me that she's sorry, but then in the middle of it, it's my fault. Something I like to call a narcissist sandwich. And that intensified for a good few years. I was getting emails every few months to now I haven't received an email from her in probably 2 years, which is awesome. And she did have people reaching out to me, which is called flying monkeys. So she would have family friends, people that knew me, knew her, trying to reach out to be like, well, that's your mother. Your mother said this, your mother said that. Nope. Completely ignore them. Do not let anyone guilt you in your decision. You made the decision for a reason. It's not just because you didn't feel like talking to your parent anymore. Emergency situations, they like to bring up, oh, it's an emergency, this and this and this. It's not an emergency. And if it was, they can call 911. You're not the person they should be calling anymore. This escalation, it doesn't mean that you've made the wrong choice. It shows you made the right one. It's proof of how desperate they are to maintain that control over you. And knowing this is coming can help you stay strong through it instead of seeing it as a sign that you should give them another chance. They will do this. It is absolutely the next step. And if you know that this is coming, it is so much easier to plan ahead and to be like, okay, they're going to try to reach out. They're going to send other people to reach out to me, but I need to remain strong with my boundaries, and I'm done. I said I'm done. I'm done. And knowing that this is coming will save you so much anxiety. Okay, and this is going to sound paranoid, but if you've had toxic parents, you understand, family members, parents, whatever, it's going to sound paranoid, but you need to document your reasons for going no contact while they're fresh in your mind. Write down those specific incidents, dates, if you remember them, and how their behavior made you feel. Take screenshots of texts or emails before you block them, and keep any records of any attempts trying to contact you after you made those boundaries clear. You may be thinking, okay, Kayla, why? Because time has this weird way of softening memories. 6 months from now, when you're feeling a little guilty and questioning your decision, you'll want those concrete reminders of why you made this decision. And sometimes those thoughts creep back in of, oh, well, this amount of time has passed. Maybe they've changed. Was that as bad as I remember? Sometimes your brain is just trying to protect you. So this is a way for you to go back and be like, oh yeah, no, I'm not doing that again. Also, having all of this proof is perfect just in case it escalates to harassment, stalking. You already have that documentation if you do need legal protection. I wish I kept everything, but for me, I would delete everything because for me, it was out of sight, out of mind. Now looking back, I wish I kept all of that just in case. And there is something else that I wish someone warned me about. After years of being defined by this toxicity in my life, I had no idea who I was without it. Who was I normally? Like, who was I? Because I spent so much energy maintaining her emotions, walking on eggshells, and trying to make sure she was happy. So I lost touch with who I was, what my own interests were, my personalities, my values. And going no contact, it forces you to figure out who you are when you're not constantly reacting to someone else's dysfunction. This can be exciting, but it could also be deeply unsettling. And I want you to give yourself permission to experiment within reason, nothing crazy. Trying new things. When I say try new things, I mean healthy things like going for hikes and meditation and reading new books and maybe doing a podcast, trying to write, doing something for yourself. And discover what you really like and discover who you are. And it's okay to feel like you're meeting yourself for the first time. It's very exciting, but also sad because sometimes you think, this is who I could have been this entire time. And you can't let yourself think that way. You have to be like, okay, well, this is who I am now. Not who I was back then. This is who I am now. And continue to prioritize yourself. Now let's talk about something that no one mentions. Make sure you have all of those documents before you go no contact. Thankfully, I had all of my stuff. Your birth certificate, your passport, social security, anything very important that you need. Also, make sure you update all your emergency contacts. Remove them anywhere that they are listed. And make sure you also secure your digital life. So for me, back in 2012, there wasn't as much social media as there is now, but if they know your passwords, anything like that. I mean, for me, I had to go private on all of social media because she was stalking me on social media. So you want to make sure that anything you post on social media, you have the knowledge that it possibly could get back to that person. And make sure you have plans for holidays and family events. Make sure you have somewhere to go to that you don't have to be around them. And if you do attend gatherings where they might be, how will you handle that? Are you going to pretend that they're not there? Are you going to maybe talk to them, which is a scary door to open? But for me, I personally, it was easier for me to just cut ties and move on and not speak to her family. I've only speak to my dad's family, but not everyone could do that. Sometimes everyone's mixed and mingled. So it really depends on your own situation. But I want to make sure that if you have to see them this holiday season, that you are mentally prepared for that. And now people, especially in the beginning, are going to try to fix your situation. So whether you ask them to or not, some people might suggest family therapy, mediation, or just talking it out. They mean well, but they don't understand. Unless they've been in your shoes and seen what happens, no one understands. And I want you to be prepared. I don't want you to be caught off guard by this. I want you to have some responses ahead of time. Maybe, I appreciate your concern. But this is not up for discussion. Maybe, I've tried everything else, but this is what I need to do for my mental health. Or maybe, I understand this makes you uncomfortable, but I need you to respect my decision. You truly don't owe anyone any type of detailed explanation of your trauma to justify protecting yourself from it. You don't have to be like, well, they did this, this, and this to me. No, you don't have to do that. They should just respect your decision. That is your decision, and they can't change your decision. Now, for some people, going no contact often means losing more than just one person. So it could mean missing those family gatherings we talked about, or for some people, losing touch with siblings, even feeling excluded from any type of extended family events. Maybe people won't invite you anymore. But something I've learned along this way is that your family isn't just about who you're related to. You can create your chosen family of people who genuinely care about your well-being and would never put you in a situation that would harm you mentally or physically. You want to start nurturing those relationships with the people who do support your healing journey, and maybe deepen those friendships with people who do respect your boundaries. And if you have a partner, lean into that relationship. Maybe consider mentors or chosen family or just close friends as your new support system. The family you create can be healthier, more supportive, and more loving sometimes than the one you were born into. Now, dealing with special occasions, especially this time of year, we're getting into the holiday season. I know for me, my first birthday after being no contact was hard for me. She did email me and it put me into a spiral. Even though I should have known it was coming, it ruined my day, truly. And I want you to plan ahead for these days, your birthday, their birthday, holidays, maybe if there's anniversary of difficult events. I want you to have a support person on standby. Make sure you tell them beforehand, hey, this is coming up and it's going to be a bit hard for me. But instead of staying home and just being sad about it, I want you to plan activities, something that makes you happy. Surround yourself with people who love you and support you. You could allow yourself to feel sad, of course, but celebrate your progress, how far you've come, because that day is no longer about them. It's about you. And you can miss the idea of having a loving parent while knowing that the reality of your relationship was very harmful. And there is no timeline when it comes to healing. Do I wish there was? Absolutely. Some days you'll feel strong and confident in your decision. You'll wake up and be like, yeah, this was the right decision. But there's going to be those other days where you feel guilty, wonder if maybe this was a harsh decision. This back and forth is very normal. It took me 10 years, truly, to get over all of it. And it's not a linear journey. You might think you're over it, and then a random Tuesday, everything just comes back to you. Memories flooding, and everything just hits you at the same time. And that doesn't mean you're not making progress. It doesn't mean that you're failing. It just means you're human. We all have those moments. I want you to be patient with yourself and give yourself permission to have those bad days without questioning your entire decision. There will be days. I mean, there's times I still have those days where it comes back and it's like, oh wow, I'm remembering all this stuff, and did I make the right decision? Absolutely, I did. So now, when you do remove that toxic person from your life, you also remove your familiar, though unhealthy, coping mechanisms. You can't call on them when you're upset anymore, and you can't fall into those old patterns. This means you need to develop a new way of dealing with stress, sadness, anger, and conflict. I want you to learn healthy communication skills and practice setting boundaries with other people in your life. And you need to develop self-soothing techniques that don't involve other people at all, but also don't harm you. For me, the longest time, my self-soothing habit was binge eating, and I have finally put a kibosh on that, and it has taken me a long time. So give yourself some grace, but doing something else instead. Maybe listening to some music and going for a run. Maybe writing. Maybe painting, cooking, something to take your mind off of it that is in a healthy way. And having that coping skill is actually one of the biggest gifts of going no contact because it forces you to become self-sufficient in the healthiest way possible. And going no contact gave me the space to realize that I was repeating toxic patterns in other relationships too. It makes you stand back and look at everything you're doing and going, okay, I don't want to be like this. I don't want to do this to other people. I was attracting friends who took advantage of my people-pleasing tendencies. I was staying in those friendships that were draining me, and I was accepting treatment from others that I would never accept now. I want you to use this time to examine all your relationships. Are there other people in your life who disrespect your boundaries, who make everything about themselves, and who leave you feeling worse after spending time with them? Going no contact with one toxic person often reveals other toxic dynamics you need to address in your life. And if, like me, you have children or you're planning to have kids, going no contact took on an extra dimension. Because you're not just protecting yourself, you're truly protecting them from experiencing that same trauma you did. You might feel guilty about depriving them of a grandparent, and people will say it, but here's the truth. A toxic grandparent is not better than not having one. Your children deserve to grow up around people who treat them and you with respect and love. And I want you to use this opportunity to model healthy boundaries for your kids. Show them what it's like to choose your own well-being over family obligation. That's one of the most valuable lessons you truly can teach them. And while I want to be honest about how difficult this journey is, I also want to share some unexpected positive changes I've experienced. My anxiety levels have decreased dramatically once I wasn't constantly waiting for the next crisis or confrontation. Once I really started my healing process. Has it completely gone away? Absolutely not, but it's not as severe as it once was. I started making decisions based on what I wanted, not what would avoid conflict with anyone. And I began to trust my own instincts again after years of having them questioned and dismissed. And changes don't happen overnight, but they will happen on this journey. And there will be times, like I've said before, you will question your decision. Maybe you'll hear they're sick or going through a hard time. This is my favorite one. The claim that they've changed. I get that every few years. In these moments, go back to those documentations. Go back to why you made this choice and ask yourself, what evidence do you have that anything fundamentally has changed? Your decision to go no contact was not made lightly. It wasn't just, today I want to go no contact. No one does that. You tried everything else first. You gave them the benefit of the doubt. You hoped that they could change, and they never did. So honor that past version of yourself who made that choice for very good reasons. And if you take nothing else from this episode, just remember this. Going no contact is not giving up on someone. It's actually refusing to give up on yourself. You deserve peace. You deserve relationships that don't require you to sacrifice your mental health. And you deserve to make decisions based on your own well-being and not other people's expectations. This journey is so hard, but it's also brave. You're choosing healing over hoping, and that takes incredible courage. I want you to be patient with yourself. Build your support system. Document your reasons. Create some new traditions. And most importantly, trust that you know your own life better than anyone else does. The person who benefits the most from your healing is you. But everyone who loves you gets the gift of a healthier, happier version of yourself that emerges on the other side. And I want to hear more about you, the listeners. I want you to finish this sentence. The one thing I wish I had known before I went no contact was, and I want you to send me an email, and I will share them anonymously, of course, on one of my next episodes. Send me an email at hello@KaylaVolturno.com. It's always in the show notes. You could always send me an email, or you could send me a message on the Facebook page Beyond the Red House. Thank you so much for listening today and trusting me with this very difficult topic. Remember, you have the right to choose yourself. You have the right to protect your well-being, and you are so much stronger and braver than you even know. Until next time, keep honoring your own truth. This is Beyond the Red House. Your healing matters. Your story matters. And you matter. Thank you for listening to Beyond the Red House. If you have a story to share or want to connect, email me at hello@KaylaVolturno.com. Visit KaylaVolturno.com for my book and resources to support your healing journey. Everything will be in the show notes. Keep building beyond whatever tried to break you. You are stronger than you know. This is Beyond the Red House.